More stories. Melinda Gill, 38. Not even going to try to pronounce that. British Columbia. I love this. I love all these stories. But I was already eating a pretty high raw foods diet when I joined the Raw Food Cleanse project. I think she was about 85% raw, actually. I saw this as an opportunity to turn up the volume and to get serious about eating 100% raw for the duration of the experiment. Even though I already had experienced a marked improvement in my health since going raw, bumping it up to 100% raw brought these exciting changes. Clearer skin with a definite glow, better mood, weight loss of over 14 pounds, much better elimination, able to deal with adversity better, and less aches and pains in general. My energy levels are great, and I need much less sleep. I just do better at 100% raw. My hormones and my monthly cycle have balanced out, which is awesome, especially since I will be trying to conceive within the next couple of months. Wouldn't that be neat for that baby? Wendy Campbell, 46, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I struggled with my weight for years due to hypothyroidism. After 4 years of dieting, thyroid medication adjustments, Weight Watchers, Atkins, and South Beach, I finally lost 112 pounds, placing me at my goal weight of 128 pounds. I was at this weight for only 3 months when I got the diagnosis of adrenal failure, and I was put on cortisone for life. I was told I would die without it. I immediately started gaining weight in 2004. I became very ill in 2008 with drug-induced Cushing's syndrome, which is the opposite of adrenal failure. I weaned myself off of the cortisone very slowly. It took 5 months, but I did not die. My most recent doctor believes I was misdiagnosed because the proper tests were never done in the first place. I've now been off cortisone for 4 months, and I'm still healing from Cushing's syndrome. I also have gastroparesis, which is gut paralysis. My entire digestive tract was not working properly from my stomach to my colon. My food would not digest, and I had severe constipation. I had daily nausea, and I vomited several times a week. I had reflux 24/7. When what I ate did stay down, the food would stay in my stomach for days and it would ferment. The bloating was unbearable. My colon barely worked, and I had to take a gallon of Miralax once a week to get a weekly BM. I lost 50 pounds, and I suffered from malabsorption and anemia. Many medications were tried, but none worked, and I was told that my last resort would be a total liquid diet. If that were to fail, I would need a feeding tube and colon surgery. I'm assuming her colon removed. Meat, fat, and fiber are the hardest things for me to digest, so the medically suggested gastroparesis diet is highly refined starches with very low fiber. Fiber can cause bezoars. I don't know what that word is. They have to be surgically removed. They are fiber balls akin to a hairball in a cat. Can you all imagine? I mean, you guys think you've got it bad, right? Wendy has been like nearly dead with all this. Over the last year, I tried the GP diet, vegetarian and veganism. I was sicker than ever, vomiting more, and had no choice but to consume a completely liquid diet in April of 2009, just this year. I started with smoothies. I knew to get as much nourishment as I could, I needed whole foods, so I also bought a juicer. This was the beginning of raw for me. Within a week, I no longer experienced nausea, vomiting, bloating, and I didn't need any more medications to have a BM. I now go up to 3 times a day. Apparently, fiber is not an issue if it's raw fiber. After a few weeks on smoothies, I tried small amounts of fruits, and I did not get sick. Then I tried a few nuts, and I did not get sick. I was very afraid of veggies because they had made me so sick in the past. It took about a month for me to try some zucchini with a little marinara, and I did not get sick. Okay. It's a total miracle that my stomach works as long as I stay raw. It's a miracle that I've lost 15 pounds in 17 days while still healing from Cushing's. I'd like to lose more weight, and I would love to get off as many of the drugs as I can. I also want people to know that the raw food diet can be a miracle, and it can happen so fast. Since participating in the raw food cleanse, I've been consuming more juices, smoothies, and raw foods. I am so much better. I've been able to stop taking my diabetes medicine as my blood sugar is staying well within the normal range, and I also have stopped taking Celexa for my depression. I've taken up an interest in yoga, taking Raja and Hatha yoga classes, and I've started jogging. I've never heard of anyone healing themselves of gastroparesis and diabetes through a raw diet, but as you can imagine, I now want to spread this message of healing and help everyone I can. Sherry Katz, 49, Baltimore, Maryland. Even though I was a vegetarian for 28 years, my diet was mainly junk food vegetarian and only about 20% fruits and vegetables. My acidic diet, coupled with poisonous stress hormones from a major depressive spiritual episode, was the breeding ground that later created my breast cancer diagnosis. At that time, I instinctively knew I had to clean up my diet. I became a vegan, and I immersed myself into studies of nutrition and cancer. After much research, I am convinced that the benefits of a diet consisting of pure, fresh, unprocessed foods are superlative, and without question, the right path for my continued good health. Awesome. Ellen Morrison, 42, Honolulu, Hawaii. I have realized the benefits of raw for years now, but I had not yet embraced the lifestyle completely. Prior to this experiment, I was eating mostly vegetarian and trying to have at least one salad per day. The biggest change that I've made during the cleanse was to have a green smoothie every morning religiously. I also did yoga every single night, so I was eating my heavier meal during the day and a much lighter meal in the evening. I feel like all I've learned has helped me to change on so many levels. That's why I'm certain that I will lose weight and keep it off this time. I feel like I'm becoming a new person, but really, I'm just coming to a fuller expression of my truest and best self. Samantha Gibbs, 34, Dearborn Heights, Michigan. I love raw food and what it's done for me. It's opened up a whole new way of life and a way of living. I'm 34 years old, and for 32 years, I've lived on junk food. I used to joke that I should become a vegetarian, but I hated vegetables. I've always hated any and all healthy food. I could and would try living on cookies, preferably the dough, salt bagels dipped in blue cheese dressing, pretzels, cake, cheese, bread, and anything carbish. The only vegetable I would touch was cucumber, and if that had to have iodized salt and dressing on it. I probably ate one piece of fruit a month. When I had to, I would eat a meal, but I preferred to eat junk instead. I started learning about raw foods when my husband became sick with ulcerative colitis. And then I learned even more when my son was born with food allergies to dairy, nuts, and eggs. I honestly had no idea what to feed him. I started eating more fruits and trying to add veggies in when I could, and it was then that I really started trying to change the way I fed my whole family. I already had a plan to go 100% raw and blog about it, and my start date was to be June the 1st. It was then that I learned about the Raw Food Cleanse Research Project, and I decided that it would be the perfect support, so I signed up. I got through the first 30 days 100% raw, and I blogged every day about what I ate, calories, fat, etc. After the 30 days, I unfortunately started letting a few things slip back in, like tortilla chips or popcorn. In the eyes of the average American, I was still eating healthy, but I could instantly tell a difference in the way I felt and looked. I've since struggled to stay 100% raw, which is my personal goal, but I did lose 12 pounds during the course of the 11 weeks. This experiment has made me realize how passionate I am about raw foods and sharing it with others. I've just finished creating a website business where I am writing an ebook and will be holding classes and demos showing moms how to feed their children healthier, fresh foods. I would even love to have classes geared for children where I show them some yummy recipes to make. I'm by no means a raw food expert, but I really want to share everything I've learned with other moms. I hope that I can make a really big impact where I live. Love it. Love it.